Hi, everybody. My name is Jason,
I'm Caden.
I'm Jaden.
I'm Nicole.
I'm Eli.
and we are the Yahuwah and the Torah channel. And we can't thank you guys enough for being a part of our little tiny reading that we have out here in this little dysfunctional family out in the middle of the jungle. And again, it's a pleasure to have all of you guys here. We can't thank you enough. Let us get into some praise and worship. Here we go.
commandments remain unbroken, we defend. He said through his word, through his guardian of old, keep my Torah forever, and the creed still stands so we rise with courage, every dawn, every sun.
All right, everybody, from the book of the Nazarene, let's get the next praise and worship.
Send us out, Adonai, with rock fire inside, not for glory of the flesh, but the truth we cannot hide. We will walk the narrow pathway, though the wolves around may cry. You are light in all our darkness, you are strength we can't deny. 60 Talmudim gather near, the air thick with debate. Yahushua the fast claims the crown, others say the sword is fate. Voices roar like raging tides, his deliverance to all one. But Yahushua spoke softly, change is rising with the sun. I came to free the bound in mind, the souls enslaved by fear, to break the chains of ignorance, to call the lost ones near. Many turned and walked away, their hearts too faint to stay. But Kepha stood, Adonai, he said, your words light up our way. Your voice awakens care within, your truth cuts through the night. You're the messenger of Yahuwah, the source of living light. Send us out, Adonai, with ruach fire inside, not for glory of the flesh, but the truth we cannot hide. We will walk the narrow pathway, though the wolves around may cry. You are light in all our darkness, you are strength we can't deny. To the crowds he spoke in parables, but to the 12 he poured the deep. Mysteries of the coming rule, the harvest heaven keeps. It is written, he said gently, they see but still are blind. They hear yet lack understanding, but healing waits if they incline. He named them for their mission, Kepha, Yaakov, Yochanan, Flame, Andre, Philippos, Bartholomew, 12 bearers of his name. Thomas, son of Jonas, Matityahu, scribe and guide. Yahudah of Kerioti, Shimon of Canaan at his side. Go seek the scattered avoid shomer on strife. Speak shalom beyond this house. Bring ruach into life. Fear not before their courts of men. Just speak what ruach gives. For slander of my name is healed. For ruach's score never forgives. Send us out, Adonai, with ruach fire inside. Not for glory of the flesh, but the truth we cannot hide. We will walk the narrow pathway, though the wolves around may cry. You are light in all our darkness. You are strength we can't deny. Forgive, you said again, again, if regret is truly shown. For he who cannot pardon hearts will walk this path alone. Have faith, he told the trembling ones, for mountains move for few, and trees uproot and plant again when Ruach carries through. He warned of loud deceivers masked, whose words are empty wind. Of those who teach for praise of men, their hearts are stained with sin. Cast not your jewels before the swine, nor pearls before the beast. For fools will trample wisdom's gems, then turn on you and feast. They asked him of the rule ahead, how will Elohim reign? He said, like seed within the earth, unseen in growth and grain. Like mustard seed becoming great, like shade for all who rest. So grows the rule of Elohim, unseen but manifest. Send us out, Adonai, with ruach fire inside. Not for glory of the flesh, but the truth we cannot hide. We will walk the narrow pathway, though the wolves around may cry. You are light in all our darkness. You are strength we can't deny. Gather them close in the dust of the road. Ask softly, who do you say that I am? And Caper replied with no fear in his soul, you are the anointed of Yah, who are the promised I am. You speak not from flesh, Yahushua said, but from Ruach whispering deep. On this rock foundation my city will rise, and though death attacks, it will not keep. Go call the 70 nations, let every people hear. That light has shattered darkness, that truth has drawn near. Though many will come when the road seems wide, few stay when storms collide. But inside each man is a spark of fire, awakened and hearts revive. He sent them forth in humble strength, while four walked at his side. A quiet band of bearers bold of Yah, who was living light. Send us out, Adonai, with ruach fire inside. Not for glory of the flesh, but the truth we cannot hide. We will walk the narrow pathway, though the wolves around may cry. You are light in all our darkness. You are strength we can't deny.
All right, so let's do a final song here. This is a good one. This is a Hebrews 8. This is literally the chapter of Hebrews 8 that has been put to music. So let's do our final song right here.
Write it on my heart. Yahuwah's law, not a stone, but inside where the Ruach draws better covenant, sealed by Yahushua's part. Your Torah living written on my heart.
We have a Melchizedek, Kohen on high, at the right of majesty and Shamayim sky, minister of the true Mishkan of love, pattern shown by Yahuwah's love. Earthly Kohanim serve shadows dim, but all fulfillment rests in him. Better promises now revealed by Yahushua's perfect.
Write it on my heart. Yahuwah's law, not a stone, but inside where the Ruach draws better covenant, sealed by Yahushua's part. Your Torah living written on my heart.
If the first were faultless, no need for new, but fault was found in them, not you. Be Torah written in every.
Read it on my heart. Yahuwah's law, not in stone, but inside where the Ruach draws better covenant, sealed by Yahushua's part. Your Torah living and written on my heart. None will say no, yeah, again, for all will know me, women and men. From great to least they'll understand, mercy flowing from my hand. The sins erased, removed, set free. Yahuwah claims his family.
All things fading, shadows apart, light of Torah in the inner part.
Write it on my heart. Yahuwah's law, not on stone, but inside where the Ruach draws better covenant, sealed by Yahushua's part. Your Torah living written on my heart.
Not abolished, no refined. Torah written in the mind. Ruach teaching every day, leading us in Yah's true way. Covenant faithful, firm and new. Ancient past still shine through.
So here I stand, Kodesh in awe, softened by your righteous law. A Melchizedek Kohen above,
Sealing us with steadfast love. Beracha flows where truth won't part. Torah written on my heart.
write it on my heart. Yahuwah's law, not a stone, but inside where the Ruach draws better covenant, sealed by Yahushua's part. Your Torah living written on my heart. Write it on my heart. Yahuwah's law, not a stone, but inside where the Ruach draws better covenant.
Sealed by Yahushua's part. Your Torah living written on my heart.
All right, everybody, that is the Torah Radio Network. Those are some new songs off the Torah Radio Network, and the Torah Radio Network has a beautiful thing that is really taking off when it comes to set apart music that we have. And prior to this, the remnant, the people of Yisrael, we don't have a radio station that's just for us, right? The radio stations that we have out there, everybody's selling their wares, everybody's trying to get their ad revenues, everybody's trying to, even if they're trying to be Kodesh, even if they're trying to be a set apart group of people, they're still making money on all of this, which, there's nothing wrong with making money per se, but when we are making money at the expense of the remnant, when we are willing to serve you guys ads at any point, in any stage of anything that we do, when it comes to the word of our Creator, I believe that is completely wrong. And I know that all these Torah channels all over the internet, everybody does it. Everybody has their hands out. Everybody has donations in there. And that's something we are not going to do. We're never going to charge for the word of our Creator. We're never, ever going to charge for having a remnant radio. And so it is with that the Torah Radio Network is live 24/7, and it is really doing well. And one of the biggest things on that is the scripture reading, and the scripture reading has really taken off. And so we've added a couple different channels, people that we believe without a shadow of a doubt have their act together when it comes to scriptures. And so as people are downloading these apps and putting them together, we're getting a support structure for all of Yah's people, so that we have a little bit of stuff out there, because everyone else, all the Satanists, they all got their radio stations, they all jam, they all have everything. So why can't the remnant have something of ours? And that is what the Torah Radio Network is. There's no ads, there's no anything on it. It's just straight praise and worship in whatever genre you want. So with that, guys, good morning to you. Much love. Shabbat Shalom. Cade, will you please open us up in a word of prayer?
Dear Father, thank you for this day. We thank you for Shabbat, and thank you for a time you have set apart, a time you have dedicated to us to take off, and for a day we spend with you. Thank you for this day. Thank you for opening up our eyes to see your day. Thank you for being so gracious to us that you give us a day that we can take off from our worries and from our trials and tribulations. We thank you for all. We thank you for the Shabbat. In His name, amen.
All right, Jade, will you please bless, or actually open us up with our Shema? And the Shema, for those who do not know, is it's a set of rulings. It's basically a little itty bitty set of rulings that we have. And when you read scriptures, when you read Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, and Deuteronomy, and in fact, when you read all of the scriptures, it very clearly says the same things. That if you as a people, us as a remnant, will obey the laws, the statutes, the commandments that are set before us by the words of our Creator, by the hand of Moshe, that we are included into this remnant. And those are the qualifications that every single one of us, if we want to take this kingdom road, if we want to take that very last breath that we have on this earth, in this fleshly form, and when we are okay that we have completed this, are we going to be okay with where we go? Because if we are lawless, if we have spent our entire lives being lawless, if we do not represent the kingdom, then the kingdom will not be there to represent us. This entire religious entity, and when we talk about the religious systems, there's 43,000 plus different denominations of Christian religion. Now, when you look at an identity crisis, that people don't know who they truly are, that is what we are up against today. We are up against a people that believe that you can never lose your salvation. We are up against the religious leaders that tell everybody that they can eat what they want to eat, and there's no such thing as clean food laws. These are all the things that the rest of the world have accepted, but there's a very small majority, right? We're talking less than 1% of all the billions of people that are in this world that are seeking our Creator, how He wants us to seek His rulings, how He wants us to seek Him. Now, if you are in a religious system and you have put a name to your belief system, please understand that every single belief system, it doesn't matter if it's in the 40-some thousand different denominations of Christianity or some new religion that's come in, every single religion has a set of what do we believe and why do we believe it. And when you sit down and when you read the church doctrine, the so-called church, right? And churches aren't something that we should even be a part of, right? There's no such thing. We are not supposed to go out and build churches all over on every corner, on everything, and start charging people for illiterate doctrine, right? And that's what it is. This is what the Torah life is all about. And so you guys out there, if you don't know who you are Yisrael. You are the modern day Yisrael. And we're not talking a little tiny state that's smaller than the state of New Jersey that's over in the Middle East. We are talking about a remnant, a group of people. Yisrael is a group. It's a worldwide group of people. And to be considered part of that, we have a set of rules and guidelines. Jade, will you please hear, O Yisrael?
Hear, O Israel, Yahuwah Elohim, Yahuwah is one. And you shall love Yahuwah your Elohim with all your heart, and with all your being, and with all your might. And these words I command you today shall be in your heart, and you shall impress them upon your children. And shall speak of them when you sit in your house, and when you walk by the way, and when you lie down, and when you rise up. And you shall bind them as a sign in your hand, and they shall be as pillars between your eyes. And you shall write on the doorposts of your house and on your gates.
Okay, so we have a set of instructions that we have been given for all times and all generations. It doesn't expire. It didn't expire when Messiah, Yahushua, died. It didn't expire when Moshe died. It didn't expire when anything. In fact, we have been told that what we have learned and what we have been commanded is for all times, all peoples. And we are told that we need to, just this simple set of instructions in Deuteronomy 6 right here, we learn that our children should be very much held up in all of this, right? Like, we should not be walking this Torah path without bringing our children along with this Torah path. And I talk to a lot of people, and, we get a lot of phone calls, and it's very interesting that the phone calls that come in. We had a gal that called me this week, and she was talking about her, she's married, but she's raising her kids in Torah without the support of her husband. And she just basically called, and I don't know if she'll actually be jumping on this Shabbat service. She called back later and got the address for this. But we were discussing this, and where her spouse is not in Torah, she's very thrilled with talking and speaking to her kids about this. And I explained that if she will take this to the next step and make it something that before they go to bed every single night, that she grabs the family, she grabs the husband, she grabs the children, she sits there, and every single day she reads a chapter of scriptures. Now this gal, she had never read the Torah before. She had never gone through Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, and Deuteronomy and read it as a manual for life. And so as we were talking to her, and as I was talking to her and encouraging her to set up this set apart time every single day that before you go to bed, You indoctrinate your family into this, regardless if they don't want to be a part of it. It doesn't take very long. It takes maybe 10, 15 minutes to read thoroughly through a single chapter of scriptures and discuss it as a family, right? And if you take those moments and you take that time as a family every single night, and you don't go to bed until you are under the protection of the spiritual protection of the word of our Creator, that's something that you can very much change. Be it a female that's raising a young male, or a female that is still married that is trying to get her family into this. It's never, ever a loss. It is never, ever something that's just, I can't make this happen. Because as long as you're still willing to try and you're still willing to not give up, then there's absolutely always hope. And our job as the people of the kingdom, regardless of people want to come into the scriptures and want to do this, but our job is to be farmers, right? We are always out there, and we have little baskets of seed, and we are out there throwing the seed out. And sometimes the seed will actually take. Sometimes it won't. But the scariest thing that I have in my world that I can think of is taking this very last breath and not being ready for the day of accountability, for the day of judgment. That's one of these things that we have been given a tremendous amount of time. And even though, we're not the days of Adam, right? We don't make it to 1,000 years old. We still make it. We could still make it to 100 years old, right? If we take care of our temples. And in this 100 years, it doesn't seem like long for us when you were 1,000 years old, but in this 100 years, it's a long time for us, right? We have a tremendous amount of opportunities, and most people, they go through that little gate. At some point in their life, they will go through that gate and they will make a decision that I'm going to do something. There's got to be something different out there. But then they fall to the left, they fall to the right, and there's destruction along the way. And so because of that destruction, because of the world, it's very hard to find the stragglers. But our job is, as these farmers, to find these stragglers and to make sure that we are inviting them into the kingdom and giving them every last opportunity, regardless if we have been rejected, regardless if we're a laughing stock of the entire herd. This is our job, and sometimes it's not very comfortable. Sometimes we get into situations where people get angry when we tell them the truth of scriptures. It's not a popular thing amongst those who understand scriptures and those who don't. There's always a war, right? There's a war, and it's probably the same war that is in the Shamayim. It's the same war between good and evil, where Lucifer's thrown to the ground, right? We are in a middle of a war, and we have to be on the right side of history. So, guys, let us get into this today. What do you got, Mr. Cole?
Just say hi to everybody.
Oh, did you not say hi? Sorry.
Yeah.
All right, say hi.
So we have Sarah and William. We have Chris. We have Heidi. We have a dog barking.
Hi, dog barking.
We have Danny Boy, Sue, Brandy and family, Joanna, scrolling here, Sandra, Honeymoon Stitch, Brian, Dolly and Jerry, the judge, Josh Rhodes, still scrolling, Jeremy and Callan, Loving Yah, The Grand, Sister Barb, Allie and Banadas, Sister Barb and family, I should say, sorry. Still scrolling, The Grand, Obi Lines, I might send The Grand already.
Yeah, but we like the Grand so much, we'll say her twice.
I know.
We love you, Grand.
Genie Out of This World. And I think that's everybody. If I missed anybody, I'm sorry.
Okay, well, for those who are here later, those who are here now, if we missed you, we're very, very sorry. This YouTube chat thing is pretty lame in comparison to the kind of company that these guys are. Supposedly, these are the world's largest, best companies. But yet the chat, as you guys can see, I can't even get chat on the screen anymore because it died. And these are the tools that we are given. And so we used to deal with this stuff really well, but it's gotten so bad that I don't even get much into chat anymore. I don't even respond to this stuff because I can't actually find this stuff in the tools that they give us. So for those of you guys that leave comments, we do see the comments, and forgive us for not getting back to you on that. I blame YouTube. But let's get into this. The greatest things we have ever been given. The greatest things, the laws, the statutes, and the commandments. Things that bring a life to greatness. Things that bring a life to suspense. Things that will absolutely change our dynamic. Things that will change the dynamic of your families. things that will change the dynamic of your marriages, right? Struggling marriages need Torah. Struggling families need Torah. The belligerent children need Torah, right? A lot of us raise very belligerent children. A lot of us have a lot of struggles with it. And I will be the first to say that had we not been in Torah, I don't know if my kids would even be controllable at this point, honestly, guys. This is the only thing that has ever given us any kind of hope in terms of parental containment of young lions. And so, guys, without the Torah, we would be doomed. It's something that all of us need to be a part of. And as we read through this Torah, as we bring this Torah to muscle memory, and that is what we are doing, we are trying to get you guys to remember this. And the funny thing is, the other day I was laying in bed, and I remembered a certain Torah command, and then I actually remembered the next 4 commands under it. And I remembered them because I had been doing this with you guys for years and years now. We've been going on, this is a long time. I was looking back, this is over 4 years, I believe, that we have been doing Torah commands. We started it before we even did the Yah Scriptures, and it is something that dramatically changed my life for the best, and I am scared to death to walk through life and raise my children without the laws of the Torah. So commandment number 1 is something that all of us can do. All of us can get off the couch. All of us can do something that is something good for the kingdom, right? Every single week, I ask my kids, my children, what have you done for the kingdom this week? What have you guys done? And I lay it down and we have this conversation on that. And the things about this conversation where I talk to my kids, I'm like, look, you guys live out in this secular, satanic world. There is a tremendous amount of opportunities for all of you, including Nicole, to go out there and to minister to people that are out there. And even though you might be a little embarrassed, even though you might be just a little bit shy and you don't want to say things because the rest of the world, they are nasty. They are grim, right? Jaden runs a computer industry, and nearly every single customer comes in is loaded up with porn, right? Guys with their tabs open, guys with all of this stuff. I can't even stop the corruption that is coming in on just being a normal computer guy because the satanic, demonic pornography is entrapped into people. 90 years old, you would not believe the kind of nastiness that comes across this stuff. And so, guys, it is with the Torah that we know that when we view pornography, we are committing adultery. We know that we are breaking the commandments of our Creator. We know that we are being unfaithful, committing fornication. These are all things in a simple thing alone that when we have the Torah commands, this is why it makes our lives beautiful. Okay, be fruitful.
Multiply. Replenish the earth. Subdue it. Have communion with the fish, fowl, and every living creature.
The herb bearing in every tree is for food.
Man and woman should build their own families. Master sin. Every clean one that lives shall be food for you.
Do not eat the blood or drink the blood. It's not for us. It's not a tasty treat. It's not what we need.
Walk before me and be perfect. Guard Yahuwah's covenant, laws, statutes, and commandments.
Guys, this is 3 pages of this thing. Look at this. Look at this command. My goodness. There's no command bigger, stronger, better than this commandment that has been reiterated to us more times than anything else in scriptures by far. And we are told to guard Yahuwah's covenant, laws, statutes, and commandments. Now, if the laws of our Creator were nailed to the cross, wouldn't this commandment be a little funky? Wouldn't this be a little bit weird? Because we are told more times than anything else that we need to guard the laws of our Creator. And guarding the laws of the Creator doesn't mean bringing the rules to naught. Bringing all this stuff, saying it doesn't apply to us, it doesn't matter. These are the things of old school Moshe. They are things for us today, for all times and all generations. Every male shall be circumcised at 8 days old.
Teach the commands and guard the way of Yahuwah. Remember Yahuwah's name for all generations. Keep the Passover, Pesach. Keep the festival of unleavened bread and the festival of matzah. There is one Torah for the stranger and the Hebrew. Sanctify all firstborn to Yahuwah. There are no mighty ones before Yahuwah. You shall not make graven images. Do not bring Yahuwah's name. Do not. Keep the Shabbat and the Sabbath day.
There you go. Look at that meaty one, guys. Here you are, right here, on a Shabbat. If you guys are keeping the Shabbat, you guys are keeping this commandment that is, 15 times right here? This is a very important thing. This is the Shabbat is absolutely the beginning of Torah keeping. For those of us who have grown up in this Gentile world, we're raging Gentiles. When you understand and come to the conclusion of Shabbat, it's something It's just out of this world. Now, what's funny is there was I don't watch news anymore. I don't watch any of this stuff, but for some reason, this Satanist, I think her name is Candace Owens or something like that. She's some little straight up Christian girl that is like some, again, a sold out Satanist. But she was sitting there, and another psyop was the Charlie Kirk thing that Charlie Kirk's doing well in Israel, if you didn't know. But if you understand, he wrote a book that says Christians need to keep Sabbath. So this Satanist girl, Candace Owens, says, I will never keep Sabbath because I'm a Christian. And it's one of these things that, you make a statement that you are going to literally go against the hand of our Creator because you are in a religion. And there's no such place in our religion. There's no place that ever said to build a religion. There's no place that ever said to go join Baptists, Catholics, Mormons, Presbyterians, Seventh-day Adventists, you name it. There's no such thing. In fact, we've been told to just be law keepers. We must to observe the laws and statutes and commandments. So when you get around these little Satanists that are all held up by the media, that are all part of the Illuminati and New World Order and all this garbage, and they're out there saying, I'm not going to keep Sabbath because I'm a Christian. As they are pretending to stand there with a different side of a rule system. Like they hold the upper moral ground by denying the words of our Creator and putting it behind their religious system. And you know what? All these people can do this, but at the end of the day, they're all going to be burning in a place that the worms do not eat the rest of the worms don't eat your corpse, right? They can't eat it all the way. The fire never stops. Discontentment never stops. But if you want to be that rebel and you want to be a Christian, well, there you go. You don't have any rules. You don't have any laws. You don't have any regulations. And Matthew 7 very clearly defines that if you do not have the Torah, you're told to depart from me. And that's our Messiah Yahushua that is saying this very, very clearly. There's no stuttering. He's not hammering around. There's nothing in mystery. We're not talking matrix code. We're talking very clearly, depart from me, you who are lawless. Very important stuff. Continuing on. Honor your parents.
Do not kill. Do not break wedlock. Do not steal. Do not make false accusations against your neighbor. Do not covet anything of your neighbor's. Do not make an altar from a rock which will touch. Do not go up the altar by the steps. If a man steals cattle, he shall short 5 times. Yahuwah's laws for criminals. Do not lie with beasts. No sacrifice to other Elohim. Do not oppress a stranger, fatherless, or widow. Do not charge your brother interest. If you borrow your neighbor's raiment, return to him before sunset. Do not curse the ruler of your people. Do not eat what is torn of any beast. No false report. Do not follow the multitude of evil. Do not judge righteously against the poor. Bring back your enemy's cattle if you find it going astray. Help the animals of your enemy. Stay away from rumors and gossipers. Take no bribes. Do not oppress a stranger. Love the stranger. Give your land rest in the 7th year. Do not mention any pagan names. Keep the feast of Yahuwah. Do not cook your goat in his mother's milk. Obey the messenger Yahuwah sends before you. Do not bow down to other Elohim. Serve Yahuwah. Make no covenant with other Elohim or outsiders of the land. Do not make use of anointing oil on an old person. Do not make use of perfume on an old person. Do not eat the fat. Do what you say you are going to do. Return what is your neighbor's. Obey Yahuwah's dietary laws. Women's time of separation. Obey Yahuwah's hygiene laws. Keep the Day of Atonement. Yom HaKippurim. Do not uncover the nakedness of your family. Do not take your woman's sister for wife. Do not lie with a woman in her uncleanness. You shall not sacrifice your children to Moloch. Do not be a sodomite. Be Kodesh. Do not reap the corn of your field, or you shall not glean your vineyard.
Sorry for the dogs, guys.
Do not deal falsely or defraud your neighbor. Do not lie or be a liar. Pay your workers the day's wage they are due. Do not harm the disabled. Do not endanger your neighbor.
Hold on, guys. Sorry. We just have a bunch of wild beasts here. Okay. Take your dogs. Okay. Sorry, guys. Little distractions, but that's what happens when you got 9 pit bulls. Wild. Okay, hit it up, guys.
Do not hate your brother.
Rebuke your neighbor for his sin.
Love your neighbor as yourself. Do not diverse your cattle.
Do not mingle your seed.
Do not mingle linen and wool. Do not lie with a taken woman. Do not eat the fruit of the trees for 3 years. Do not practice sorcery. Do not round your beard or corners of your head. Do not cut yourself for the dead. Do not get tattoos. Do not prostitute your daughter. Do not defile your temple. Do not consult the medium. Respect your elders. Have strict weights and measures. Do not walk in the manners of the nation. Keep the Feast of First Fruits, Shavuot, Omer Count, Pentecost. Keep the Feast of Trumpets, Yom Kippur. Keep the Feast of Sukkot, Shemini Atzeret. If you blaspheme the name of Yahuwah, you shall be put to death. If you kill a named animal, you must give him another. Repay injury for injury. Honor the Jubilee year. Confess your sins to Yahuwah and repay who have trespassed against. The law of Ben Nazir. Wear easy on the four corners of your garments. The law is whoever touches a corpse. Follow Yahuwah's law of inheritance. The law of keeping your oath to Yahuwah. Do not add or take away from the word.
And a very important one, guys, is we are, we're inundated in this world, right? Everything that we have learned is adding and taking away from the word. There's very few pure things left in this world because it doesn't matter. If you join yourself to a religious system, it doesn't matter what it is. And I tell people all the time, the Torah life is not a religious system. It is literally a lifestyle that we must complete. And it's not something that you just go to on a Shabbat. It's not something that you just do one day a week. It's something that we live with, right? We don't eat unclean food, right? That's part of our lifestyle. It's not something we just do one day a week where, we stop eating pig. It's something where we would not pollute our temples with unclean food. And so as we are living this life, we have to get rid of these things that are adding to and taking away from our word. Things like Christmas, Thanksgiving, Oktoberfest, or whatever it is, Halloween, all these other things, right? These are all part of things that have been introduced into our world, and it's all satanic, right? It is all built by the hands of Satan to pull Yah's people away and to keep them as far away from the word as possible. And that takes us to the next command, which is to guard your soul. And, it seems like it's simple enough, right? It's 3 words. But at the end of the day, this is the only thing that any of us have to take out of this world is our soul. Every single one of us have an opportunity to guard our soul. And guard our soul does not mean wake up in the morning and look like the world, taste like the world, and be the world, right? If you're the cool kid in the cool club, that could very well be a problem in terms of guarding your soul. Because to be the cool kid in the cool club, that means you are acting just like the world, tasting like the world, and you're surrounded by the world. And what happens is that you start doing worldly things because you don't want to not be the cool kid in the club. And so you will alter your morals, you'll alter the things that you know are right in terms of having popularity. And at the end of the day, if you want to be popular, continue on in the Christian path, right? Continue on, because as we all end with our very last breath and end up on the day of accounting, and we all end up in hell for not keeping the laws, statutes, and commandments, not having the faith of our Messiah, there's going to be a lot of people, right? You're not going to be lonely if you're a Christian. I'm telling you, you're going to go to a place of torment, and there's going to be a lot of people there, and all these people are going to be very, very upset, and it's a lifetime, right? It's not even a lifetime. It's a I don't know. Eternity is eternity. It's not a lifetime. I guess it is a lifetime because it never will end. Continuing on, the next one, which nobody does, right? We don't guard our soul because we don't fear Yahuwah. How is it that we fear Yahuwah? Well, we fear him by listening to his words, listening to his ways, and obeying them. If you hear but don't obey, that makes you ignorant, it makes you disobedient. But the fear of Yahuwah begins with obedience. The fear of Yahuwah is the understanding of greatness, is the understanding of wisdom. Wisdom comes from the fear of Yahuwah. When we understand that the creator of the universe not only shows us mercy, but also has great fear, to be understanding that anything that could happen to us, he controls it all. We want to be on the right side of our creator. We don't want to be making him upset, just like our parents, right? We didn't imagine being disobedient children consistently living in a house under the disobedient children ruling, that your parents are mad at you all the time, that there is no peace, there is no shalom in any of that. Is that the way you want your creator to look at you and observe you, as just a disobedient child that's not getting any better? Is that how we want to be? Continue on. You need to love Yahuwah with all your heart. And that doesn't mean taking his laws and putting them in the trash can. Continue on, boys.
Bind the laws upon your hand and the frontlets between your eyes. Write laws on your doorposts. Do not tempt Yahuwah. Do what is right and good in the sight of Yahuwah. Do not be afraid of your enemies. Remember Yahuwah.
Circumcise your heart.
Cleave to Yahuwah. Swear by his name.
Destroy graven images.
Do not make an idol of Yahuwah as the pagans do to their Elohim. Rejoice in all Yahuwah has blessed you with.
Do not do what is right in your own eyes.
Do not hearken to the words of the false prophets. Do not make any vows between your eyes for the dead.
You shall not eat any abominable thing.
You shall give to a stranger clean food that dies itself, but you shall not eat of it. Give tithe of your increase of seed year by year.
Laws to the end of the 7-year lease.
Do not borrow from the nations. Do not harden your heart, nor shut your hand from the poor. Guard month one of Yahuwah's calendar.
3 times a year all males shall appear before Yahuwah.
You shall make judges and officers in all your gates. Do not plant Asherah poles near the altar.
There must be 2 or 3 witnesses.
Hearken to the prophet Yahuwah has chosen. Prophet tested Deuteronomy.
Do not remove your heirs property line.
How yield a false witness among Torah keepers? The first child get all portions. If your brother's cattle or clothes are lost, and you find them, you must return them.
A woman shall not wear a penis to a man, or a man wear a penis to a woman.
If you find a bird's nest with the mother, and the babies or eggs, take the babies, but not the mother. If you build a new house with a flat roof that has already lived on, you must put a railing around it.
Do not be a prostitute.
Do not use dirty money. Law of divorce.
Do not take a person's millstone for a pledge.
If you lend to your brother, do not enter his house to your parent, and he must bring it to you. Return his clothing before sunset if that was his pledge. Do not oppress a hired servant that is poor and needy.
A man shall be put to death for his own sin.
Do not go back to the forgotten sheep in the field, leave it for the stranger, fatherless, and widow. Do not muzzle your ox when he treads out grain.
If your brother dies and has no child, you shall take his wife and the firstborn after your brother.
At the end of 7 years, you are to read the Torah at the Feast of Sukkot, the Feast of Tabernacles.
Okay, all right. So there we go, guys. You know, when you look at them, there's like 150 or so. There's not a tremendous amount. And boys, if you guys can all grab a dog and tend the dogs, I would appreciate it, Jake. And, you know, as you look through these Torah commands, there's just not a lot, right? There's 158 or so commands that we could do today in today's environment. And when you're looking at driving out of your house to your office or to a mall or wherever it is, guys, you realize how many rules and regulations there are, right? You got to use your blinker to turn left. Blinker, you're in right? Your lights are on before dusk or off before dusk. All these other things, right? Don't have your lights on bright. There's tremendous amounts of rules and regulations simply for driving. But yet when you look at the basic laws, statutes, and commandments our Creator has given to us, there's not a lot in there, right? And it goes from every facet of our life, from raising families to running businesses to how we have our weights and measurements. There's all these other things. Every single thing that is very important to us is based in the Torah and the rest of the scriptures. And so it is with that, you know, if you have never read the first 5 books of scriptures very slowly, I would encourage all of you guys to begin this trek. And if it's something that you fall asleep to, then you know, read 1 chapter a night. If you fall asleep to it, then go back through it the night before. Make sure you understand what is happening as you run through the lives of Yisrael and run through the lives when our Creator was walking with us in a physical form. And so, guys, let us get into this. Jake, can you please give me a breakdown on Deuteronomy 14, where we are at, and what's the haps?
We are currently, the Israelites are sitting outside of the Promised Land. Moshe is giving them a recap of their entire journey through the lands they took. Some of the people chose some land already outside of the Promised Land because they thought it was beautiful and they said it was good. So now Moses, he is basically giving the people commands. In the last chapter we learned, he said, if prophet rises among you, if they say something that goes against the Torah, don't believe them. If they say that let's go serve other mighty ones or other gods, then you need to get rid of them. You just stone them. And if they have a prophecy and it doesn't come true, then they're a false prophet and they need to be gotten rid of as well.
Yeah, and you know, that's a lot of things. You know, we live in kind of a beta male society, right? We you know, you're like you say something like, well, you know, if you're committing adultery, you should be killed, right? And everybody will, like, their eyebrows will be lifted up because we live in an adultery style world. We live in a world where there's zero loyalty to your spouse anymore, right? And pornography is one of these things that is definitely a part of this entire septic tank system that we live in anymore. And it's one of these things that, you know, we need to align our lives to how our Creator wants us to live if we want a shot at the kingdom to come. Now, you know, most people don't care about the kingdom to come. Most people don't even believe there's anything out there, right? If they do believe, they simply don't put their faith they don't put their works where their faith supposedly is, right? And you can read the book of James and very clearly see how faith is supposed to guide our lives and govern our world. So here we are, Deuteronomy 14. You are the children of Yahuwah, your Elohim. You do not cut yourselves nor shave the front of your head for the dead, for you are a Kodesh people to Yahuwah, your Elohim. And Yahuwah has chosen you to be a people for himself, a treasured possession above all the peoples who are on the face of the earth. Now, were these people selected because of who they are?
No.
They were selected because of their forefathers before them, right? If it wasn't for Abraham, Isaac, and Yaakov, we would not
have wiped out.
We would have been wiped out.
They're really bad people.
Absolutely, we would have been wiped out. And it is only because of the covenant and the loyalty and the mercy that our Creator has given to the forefathers, our forefathers, that we even have a shot. And it is the same kind of thing today that, you could point the finger at all the Israelites from back in the day that were breaking commandments. And yes, that is very true. They are very much a stiff-necked people. They are very much they don't have a lot of common sense when they have a cloud by day and fire by night that is existing with them, but yet still they have a hard time with concepts. Now, again, we can throw rocks at the people of old all day long, but if you look at the people of new all day long, that's what the world is, right? The world is far worse than even the days. Far worse back in the day, they couldn't keep commandments. Now they don't even have commandments. Now they don't even want the commandments. There's nothing in the Torah that the rest of the world finds useful, right? They don't. It's a bunch of old writings, a bunch of stuff that doesn't apply to anybody, and that's not the way to do it. And when you're looking for that tickle my ear religious system, you can't beat it if you're in the Christian religion. That is absolutely the easiest way to be saved. And I'm not saying this as a point of fact, because for those who listen to me enough, understand that when I say Christian religion, that's not a good thing. But when you are in the Christian religion, you can do no wrong, right? Remember all of these pastors, right? Oh, you don't have any laws. There's no statutes, no commandments. Eat what you want, do what you want, worship when you want, do all this kind of stuff. And we are worse off than the people of old back in the days. And so we need to make sure that we are aligning our lives for this. Now, it seems to be a problem in chapter 14, verse 1 and 2, that the people of Yisrael had pulled out all these pagan things, right?
Straight from Egypt.
Yeah, straight up from Egypt. And so obviously what you can tell from the days of Egypt is that when people died, they cut themselves, and they also shaved the front of their heads for the dead. And so this was obviously something our Creator did not want us to do, right? We've never been told to bloodlet ourselves. We've never been told to call out to Elohim by, running a knife down our arm or face or anything of the sort, right? This is all satanic things that our Creator wants us to be not a part of. And so that goes for the same for us today, right? And you look at the world and the shape of the world, there's a lot of religions. A lot of people do just this. It is really foul, the world we're in. 3, do not eat whatever is abominable. Okay, well, right out of the gate, if we want to say that the Christian religion is a thing, well, the Christian religion is all about eating abominable things, right? There's no wrong that you can do in this religious system. So if you want a religious system that you don't have any rules, you don't have any guidelines, you don't even have to do a daggum thing other than just exist, and you can exist as the greatest heathen Gentile that you've ever had, but yet salvation will never be pulled out of your hand. These are all literally things that preachers will tell you. You can do what you want, how you want, and we have this single command here in Deuteronomy 14:3 that says, do not eat whatever is an abominable. Now, this is no new information, right? We have from the very beginning of scriptures that we weren't to eat unclean food. This is just a reiteration of Leviticus 11 that very clearly tells us what to eat and what not to eat, and what is considered food and what is not considered food. And that is the thing. When people say all food has been made clean, well, if you're talking about things in Leviticus 11 that are considered food, then sure, okay, all clean food has been made clean, right? But if you're talking about things that aren't food and you say that is clean food, it's not food at all. And so you're very much mistaken. But that's the Christian religion, right? And them are fighting words when you are in the Christian religion, right? You tell the Christians like, hey, you shouldn't be eating pork. That just makes them very angry, right? You become an enemy of the Christians the first time you do this. But this is what our job is. 4, these are living creatures which you do eat: ox, sheep, and goat, deer, and gazelle, and roebuck, and wild goat and mountain goat and antelope and mountain sheep. And I've eaten a couple of these things before, and I'm not a huge fan of deer or sheep. I know that everybody, especially during Passover, everybody likes sheep. I didn't like it when I was a kid. It wasn't very tasty. And deer always tasted like I was eating a pile of grass or something. It always tasted like hunty-ish, like it's been living on the side of a mountain. And so, but those are food, right? Those are the things that we can eat. Now, what we don't see in here is we don't see giraffe. We don't see, what don't we see in here? We don't see zebra.
Horses.
Zebra, yeah, all those.
Big.
Yeah, right? And so this is giving us a basic understanding of what is food and what is not. So if you do not see what you consider food and what you're eating, it's time we change our ways. It's time that we change our temples and change our bodies. 6, and every beast that has a split hoof, divided in two, chewing the cud, among the beasts you do eat. But of those chewing the cud, of those having a split hoof completely divided, you do not eat. Such as these, the camel, the hare, for they chew the cud, but they do not have a split hoof. They are unclean for you.
It seems pretty straightforward on what
It does
clean
seem-
and what's not, and it's
It does seem straightforward, but if you are under the illusion of a satanic cult, your satanic cult will tell you there are no laws, there are no statutes, no commandments. Right out of the gate, that is a huge, huge problem if you are seeking the kingdom. If you are seeking a set-apart group of people, and they're just sitting there pounding down the rabbit, and they have a camel on the barbecue grill or something of the sort, or pig, right? Continuing on, 8. And the pig is unclean for you because it has a split hoof, but does not chew the cud.
I mean, there's a verse just
The
for
whole
this
verse.
one.
Yeah, just for this. You do not eat their flesh or touch their dead carcasses. Now, the Christians will say that's bull butter. That's not right.
It doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah, it doesn't exist. Those laws don't exist. We can do what we want, eat what we want, blah, 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 blah. And they will literally pick up their staves and pick up their sticks and beat you with them as they're eating their pork rinds, right? You have become the enemy of
So-
the Christian religion.
Do the genetics of the animals change? They become clean for us, or what makes them now clean for us?
Well, that's the thing. And I think Sister Barb said that a long time ago, that she was talking about there was something with the Nephilim and the pig, like the Nephilim, the Watcher, the fallen angels and the Watchers and all that entire sickness that came around, they had somehow genetically altered the pig. And so it wasn't exactly what it was to begin with, but by the time it became what it became, it was this salty, tasty thing that everybody considers the cheapest white meat. But yet it's foul, it's disgusting, and these things is diseased. It's absolutely diseased, but nobody cares, right? And that's the crazy thing down here is we are extremely set apart because Miss Nicole and Eli, they run a clean kitchen. And we have been fighting all of the raging Gentiles. When we put out a newsletter that says we are a clean kitchen and we don't serve pork, there will be newsletter after newsletter after newsletter by our competition that is laughing, scoffing, and just they literally will put out that, like, we have made this one guy, his pig guy, so mad he literally started selling pig soap, like pig fat from the barbecue. They were dropping off the pig lard, dropping it into this thing. And this guy is so satanic. He's so demonic. He tells everybody that has a hearty scent. You're going to walk around with this grill smell after you've just washed yourself with pig fat. And he thinks he's the funniest guy, right? We're the laughing stock of the groups down here because we just look at him and we're like, wow, these guys are raging Gentiles. What do we do? And we just continue on doing what we do. And we're always the laughing stock, but we have to be, right? If we're not saying things against the things that are against the Torah, if we are not willing to stand up for this kind of stuff and we're just okay selling it, right? We'll never sell. We never had pig in our kitchens. We never ever sell that. We will never ever feed somebody pig, ever. We're just not going to do it. Imagine that. Okay, continuing on. These, you got any comments in there, Mr. Cole?
No, but Jerry was laughing at you, asking what's bull butter.
Oh, bull butter? That's probably as deep as I need to get with that one. I heard that one when I was about 8 years old. I didn't know it either. Okay, continuing on. 9. These you do eat of all that are in the waters. All that have fins and scales you do eat. Okay, great.
Great. Yeah, drug
Fins
guidelines.
and scales. There we are. So catfish. Nope, we're not going to do that, right? All these ocean dwellers, right?
The shrimp.
Placostomus, right?
Lobster.
Lobster, all those things. Those are all janitors that are found in the bottoms of the ocean that they eat the dead, right? They literally eat the dead. That is their jobs. Their job is to go around. And I've told this story before, but when I was a kid, I hate fish nowadays. Like literally, I hate the taste of them and I hate fish. It's because I grew up for about 15 years of my life with a fishbowl. And my mother was very strange about her fishbowl. Like we had to clean this thing like every other week. And so it was like a huge tank and I had to drain all this stuff out there and the fish are nasty, disgusting, all this jive. However, I used to have these little crabs and these little crabs were, I had a lot of crabs because, and I'm not saying, I'm talking to my fishbowl crabs. We're talking, what happened is these things would climb out. You could seal the top of these things out for whatever reason, even the smallest hole, the crabs would crawl out. So I'd be walking in my room and all of a sudden I'd go crunch. And I looked down and there's my crab. He just crawled out and he dead on the ground. I crunched him, right? And every time we left for like a weekend or something, I'd come back. My crabs always jumped out of my tank. Well, I always had these fish, and the fish would die. And it's probably because I suck at keeping fish, and I was just a little kid that didn't really care about them. But they would die, right? And these fish would turn all white. Now, a normal person would take the dead fish out of there. But a lazy little kid like myself, I would just sit there, and I would wait for my little crab to come up to this nasty part of a body. It was just like the fish was all like white after that. I'd left it in there for days. This crab would come up and grab a hold of that thing and just eat it. And all of a sudden, my labors of cleaning my fish tank were over. And so when you look at these critters that crawl around the bottoms of all of these things and they're eating all this stuff, there is a reason they have been designed. When you eat a shrimp, you are eating a hormone pus pocket. That's the bottom line. These things, you can stick them in a bucket of water that has all this dysentery, all these stuff in it. Inside a week, the water becomes clean. You could drink the water. The shrimp absorb all this stuff. They eat all this contaminant. They're able to deal with it, live. Whereas you drink that thing of water, you're dead. But then you go and take that pus pocket and you crush that sucker between your teeth and pop all those nastiness out into your mouth. That's all dishwasher, right? That's all septic. That's sewer. That's stuff that should not be entered into your body. Continuing on. What do you got?
10.
Okay, 10. And whatever does not have fins and scales, you do not eat. It is unclean for you. Any clean bird, you do eat. But these you do not eat. The eagle, the vulture, and the black vulture, and the red kite, and the falcon, and the buzzard, and after their kinds, and every raven after its kind, and the ostrich, and the nighthawk, and the seagull, and the hawk after their kinds, the little owl, the great owl, and the white owl, and the pelican, and the carrion vulture, and the fisher owl, and the stork, and the heron after its kind, and the hoopie, and the bat. And every creeping creature that flies is unclean for you. They are not eaten. Now let's talk about the winged things here. What is the difference between, say, what we just read here and, say, like a chicken?
Well, these things are flying around, say, the vulture or the hawk, and they go around and eat the corpses. You'll see vultures, and a lot of them have hair on their heads, a lot of these ones here, so they don't get, like, blood and guts on them when they dig into a corpse.
A vulture is made without hair on its head, so it can take a dead corpse, smash its head deep down into that decaying flesh, and sit there and have a wonderful meal without pulling its head out and having guts all over its head, right? These things are made in a certain way to take care of things that we probably don't want to take care of. And all the birds that were just mentioned are meat eaters, right? They don't care if it's live or dead or whatever it is. They will go. And the giant, we call them sky pigs down here because something will die in the middle of the jungle, and all of a sudden you'll have 1,000 birds over your head, and they're just circling. And inside a couple of days, that entire corpse is gone. It's just the cycle of how it is. They eat these things. We're not supposed to, right? That's the Torah. The Torah is amazing.
Honeymoon Stitch Brian says is duck clean.
We've had this conversation before. I think Sister Barb said no. Didn't Sister Barb say no?
I don't remember who
This
it was.
is a great question, Brian. And so this is one of these things we have had a lot of discussions on. I think we came to the conclusion, and it's not in stone, that I do not believe duck was clean. I can't remember. It's one of these things. It's a tough one. Trying to figure it out.
They're similar to chickens, but they're different overall.
They're similar to chickens, and in fact, I mean, what they eat is plants and stuff of that nature, bugs, plants, all that kind of stuff. And so, I don't know. I don't have an actual answer to that. Maybe Sister Barb and her group of folks over there can shed some light on this. I don't know, but we've definitely discussed it. 21. Do not eat whatever itself. Give it to the stranger who is within your gates to eat it, and sell it to a foreigner. Do we not care about the stranger? Do we not care about the foreigner? We just found here's the thing, right? We as Yah's people, we don't eat roadkill, right? We don't eat whatever dies of itself.
Yeah, because that's disease. If it dies of itself, something bad happens.
And take it from us, we've had a tremendous amount of cows, and a tremendous amount of cows have died on us out in these jungles. It's tough to keep them alive. But when they die of themselves, it's usually not a quick death. It's usually something that takes days, weeks, a long time, and they're usually down on the ground to the point where you either have to put them down or something of the sort. But it's not clean meat. And in fact, remember that? Where did we go that one time that cow died? I think our neighbor, wasn't it Santos that had us chop that up? So we had a neighbor, and we're the only crazy people around here that literally will take a couple of knives and cut up a cow, right? Dead or alive, we will take care of it, process it. We learned this all down in the jungle. But we had a neighbor, and this cow died like a couple of days before. And he came over, and he's like, hey, I need you guys to cut up this cow for my dogs. And we're like, all right. So we went over there, and this thing, I remember cutting the knife into this thing, and remember the exploding sound?
Yeah, it was a few days dead.
Yeah, it was a few days dead. And you can see, even on an animal that dies of itself, when you cut it open, there's something wrong with the meat, right? It is not good. Even the way that animals die, if you don't kill them right, it does hamper the meat. So there's a ton of stuff right here. Why would we give something that dies of itself? Why would we give it to the stranger, and why would we sell it to a foreigner?
Probably because they eat of that stuff and we don't.
Yeah.
And probably plus it helps them, give them food, and they probably don't care.
Yeah, and that's the thing, right? I mean, if you're a Gentile and you just don't care, and you're something dies and they're going to eat it, I mean, they'd eat it with or without it. So, but us as Yah's people, right? We're not good with the roadkill. We're not.
Even if you are the stranger and someone's giving that to you, I don't recommend eating it. It's probably not healthy.
But if you're real hungry, though, fry that sucker up. It might be all right. You never know. When you're hungry, dude, you'll do some stuff. I'm telling you. Okay, for you are a Kodesh people to Yahuwah your Elohim. Do not cook a young goat in its mother's milk. And again, we don't have any other instructions inside of this stuff, right? Other than this must have been a pagan thing to do, where, when you look at this cycle of nature, and you have a mother and you have the baby, and then you take and cook the young goat in its mother's own milk. The milk was actually there to provide for the young goat. And you do this, it
feels morally wrong.
It does feel morally wrong. Like you're really doing some stuff, and obviously to Yah, it means something, right? It's something that he loves his critters, right? We know the birds of the field have no problems getting food. We know nobody's starving out there. I don't see any birds sitting around here with little signs that say, "Please feed me." Everything's real fat. Everything's happy, singing around. So again, more things that we do, which we don't do because we're not the pagans. 22. You shall tithe without fail in the yield of your grain that the field brings near year by year. Okay, well, this just breaks the entire 10%. You don't join a satanic religious system out there without dedicating 10% of your good earned money to the church. Mormons, Catholics, it doesn't matter. They will put you on a registry. Well, the Mormons do it a little bit crazier, right? When you join the Mormon religion, you end up on a little registry like you're in some government. When you don't come for your 10%, they come to your door. Like, hey, it looks like you haven't tithed. Can you want to throw down some money for the priests? And that's what they'll do. They'll throw it all together. And it's if we wanted to stick with scriptures and we want to pay our Kohanim, our priests, to do stuff.
The guy who's out there atoning for killing the animal that we give them.
We give them some food.
And you don't necessarily give them money. You give them grain, wine.
Yeah, you don't give money at all, right? There's no money. I don't think there's ever a time that you take out your wallet and give them stuff. I do know that if you are in you're supposed to be doing an appointed time and you can't get the right the right offerings that you can pay to get them. But as far as paying some priest to do this is not what this is about.
You're giving them clean food to eat. You're giving them wine. You're giving them stuff to cook with, make the bread, to make the holy bread.
And that's the thing they need, because they don't have real jobs That is their job. Yeah, and I guess saying real jobs isn't the right thing, because, I mean, imagine being a Kohen, a priest of Yahuwah. That's quite the job. 23. And you shall eat before Yahuwah your Elohim, the place where he chooses to make his name dwell, the tithe of your grain and your new wine and oil and of your firstlings of your herd and your sheep, so that you learn to revere Yahuwah your Elohim always. I think this is a big part of this entire verse right here, right? So that you learn to revere Yahuwah your Elohim. What are we learning to do? What was that statement from? Well, number one is you shall eat before Yahuwah where he wants you to, right? Where he wants his name to dwell. And if we were in the Holy Land, if we were in an appointed time, males would be going to Jerusalem 3 times a year. But we're to get to this point, to learning to revere Yahuwah, right? Every year in the land, we would be taking this trip. We'd be taking our tithe of the grain. We'd be taking our new wine. We'd be taking our oil, and we'd be taking the sacrifices, right? This is a big thing, right? You are stopping everything in your life at this point to go before your Elohim Most High. And that is what it is supposed to be, right? It's not supposed to be like, oh, wow, this is really weird. It's that every time and 3 times a year that we would get in our little caravans and we would run off to Jerusalem and we would spend time with Yahuwah. What a world. What a life. How contrast is that to the world we live in today? 24. But when the way is too long for you, so that you are not able to bring the tithe, or when the place where Yahuwah your Elohim chooses to put his name is too far from you, then Yahuwah your Elohim is baraka to you. Then you shall give, this is the money, this is the monetary side. Then you shall give it in silver, and shall take the silver in your hand, and go to the place which Yahuwah your Elohim chooses, right?
Basically, if you couldn't get your animals all the way to...
You had to pay your way, right,
yeah,
right.
Exactly.
You had to
it's easier to carry a bag of coins.
Right, take a bag of coins and go to where it is, and you get this stuff for there. 26. And you shall use the silver for whatever your being desires, cattle or sheep, for wine or strong drink, for whatever your being desires, and you shall eat for Yahuwah your Elohim, and you shall rejoice, you and your household. Okay, so that's, you now have what you buy with the silver, right? You don't buy slaves, you don't buy any of this, right? You're buying food, cattle, sheep, the offerings, things that you're going to be using for that appointed time. 27. And do not forsake the Levite who is within your gates, for he has no part nor inheritance with you. Huge thing, right? This separates the so-called fake satanic cultish pastors of today with the Kohanim, the priests of back in the day, right? The preachers of today have all this money, right? Every preacher I've ever met and known is loaded. They have cars, they have houses, they're taken care of, they're all this kind of stuff. And it's from the 10% of the tithe that you bring into this. If we were back in a legitimate time, in a legitimate land, the Levites don't have this kind of stuff, right? The only way the Levites will eat is by them doing what they are doing at the hand of Yahuwah and the people supporting them, because that's the way it was supposed to be. 28. At the end of every 3rd year, you bring out all the tithe of your increase of that year and store it up within your gates. And the Levite, because he has no portion or inheritance with you, and the sojourner, and the fatherless, and the widow who are within your gates shall come and eat and be satisfied, so that Yahuwah your Elohim barak you in all the work of your hand, which you do.
So you store up extra to give those who don't have it.
Yeah, and then one thing I want to, the Torah very clearly tells us about widows, right? There's something about widows and orphans, and there's something about those who are broken that the Torah commands us to take care of. Now, I want to address this real quickly because in the words of Shaul, Brother Shaul, Paul, as they say, and there are at least five things that Paul commands that are against the Torah, 100% against the Torah. And when you look at them and you weigh them against the Torah, the only thing that you're going to be able to say is that he must not be even addressing things in the Torah. Because remember Paul and his widows, and how the widows have to be qualified, how people inside this so-called church are the ones that, it's like the family of the widow is supposed to take care of the widow so it doesn't fall to the so-called church that Paul was setting up. Think about this in contrast to what the actual Torah says. Now, when you look at the words of Brother Shaul and you look at having to qualify widows of any nature and any means, he is adding to and taking away from the word of our Creator, because we don't have anything about this. We didn't know the widows had to pass a test. We didn't know they had to go in and take care of all these other people before they're even qualified to be called a widow. Those are new things. Those are things that we learn in the writings of Shaul, where if we don't have a foundational basis, if we don't actually know what the Torah says, Then we get into Paul's words, and all of a sudden we look at these widows and go, you're a bunch of users. Oh, you're a bunch of abusers. What families have you taken care of? Who have you done, right? There's no place to qualify a widow. Can you imagine that? Taking somebody's pain and somebody's life and saying you're not quite qualified to make a widow, even though they lived a life, they had a spouse, and they went into the pain of losing their spouse, but yet, you know what? You're not a widow. So these are all things that we have to be very, very alert of when it comes to scriptures. When it comes to the 7/8 of the way through scriptures, we end up with all the writings of Brother Shaul. Now, if you take the writings of Brother Shaul over the writings of our Creator, over Moshe, over all the people from back in the days, then you're making Paul your God. And I don't think Paul wants to be your God. And you wouldn't want to keep the laws, statutes, and commandments of Paul, because they are very much different than the laws of our Creator. Okay, let's get into our next chapter, where we're at here, guys.
John 8.
John 8. All right. Anything in chat, Mystical? I can't even see chat today. So
They're just discussing ways to give to people with tithe.
Mm.
The
Yeah.
homeless. And
Absolutely.
Brandon's
Absolutely.
saying that she's growing her first garden, so she'll be able to give food.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's the thing. A lot of people, everybody's always out there seeking, how do we do the kingdom work? How do we do something like this, right? And there's a lot of poor among us, right? It doesn't matter which country we live in, doesn't matter where we're at. There's a tremendous amount of poor. One thing that it doesn't cost a lot, but you will change lives forever, is to go grab a shopping cart full of rice and go find several different families and drop that rice off at their house, right? One bag of rice can last a month, maybe more than that, right? And we're only talking like $6-7 rice. Rice goes a long, long, long ways. So if you find a family that has a lot of kids, they're struggling, everything is there, grab them a couple bags of rice, support that family, and you will change the lives in that direction. And one of the things, when you feed people from a physical standpoint, they are more than apt to sit and hear spiritual side things. Right? That is the difference between us calling people goyim and saying they suck by default without ever getting to know somebody and trying to minister to them and trying to bring them into the kingdom, right? When you feed the people, you will feed Yah's people. And food is a great way to the hearts, minds, and souls of the people. And, once you get in the door with these little families, you come once a week, once every couple of weeks, things like that, right? Even if you spend $25 a month, you can buy a huge set of rice and it will change people's lives forever. That's just one thing, right? There's a ton of this stuff. All right, here we are, guys. We are into Yochanan, the book of John. And Jay, will you please give us a breakdown of prior to this, the first 7 chapters?
So Yehoshua starts out with his birth, and he grows up inside of Bethlehem, or inside of his hometown, and he goes to Jerusalem when he's 12 years old. He goes and learns and starts talking to the older, more wise teachers, and they're surprised how much the kid knows and how he is already so wise. And then he grows up and gets baptized by his cousin, John the Baptist, or John the Immerser. And then he goes and finds his disciples. He grabs 12 of them, he goes around teaching. He creates enemies in the Jews, the Yehudim, and they are seeking to kill him already. So he's supposed to go to a festival, so he sneaks into Jerusalem because they want to do him harm.
Yeah. And I want to do, you mentioned something about baptism right here and being baptized by his cousin. I get a lot of questions a lot of times, and I think it'd be good to have this little kind of discussion regarding baptism. And, the thing that all of us seek to do when we are in Torah is to do it the right way. And that leads us into a slight problem in this world, is that nobody has anybody to really baptize them, right? When you are looking at who puts hands on me, who baptizes me in the name of Yahuwah, his son, the Ruach HaKodesh, who sanctifies this, and who is putting their hands on me, right? And, I tell a lot of people, in fact, I told this brother who got out of prison, and he's looking for the same thing, and he didn't know. He's like, what do I do? Do I baptize myself? And at the end of the day, I've done a lot of thought on this, and I don't have the exact answer for it. But what I would recommend is that we don't have others who do not believe what we believe and are ordained as we are put their hands on us for any reason at all, right? And unless you really, really knew a set apart, sanctified group of people that really believe scriptures and weren't Judaism, they weren't all in these different things, I don't think I'd ever be baptized. I would probably put my head under the water myself and try to do this and ask Yah to please let that be as good as it gets, because we don't live in the world where we have Yochanan and the immerser that's out teaching the way and baptizing us, right? We don't have these really set apart men. A lot of us can't even find like a Torah-based group to hang out with. And so, just going to some, Christian organization that everybody's down by the river baptizing you, I don't know so much as if that is what you would be looking for. So just be very careful about who puts their hands on who and what your intent is, because the world's a funky place. And, I would not want to be baptized by some demon, some guy that's, demonology. I wouldn't want any kind of transference. I wouldn't want that for myself or my family. So here we are, Yochanan, chapter 8. And Yahushua went to the Mount of Olives, and at dawn he came again into the Mikdash, the temple. And all the people were coming to him, and having sat down, he was teaching them. And the scribes and the Pharisees brought to him a woman caught in adultery. And having put her in the midst, they said to him, Teacher, this woman was caught in the act of adultery. And in the Torah, Moshe commanded us that such should be stoned. What then do you say? And they said this to him. They said, trying him, so that they might accuse him. But Yahushua, bending down, wrote on the ground with the finger as though he did not hear. Okay, let's describe this, right? What is the actual Torah command for a woman caught in adultery?
Well, one, you would have witnesses.
Okay.
You need to bring the witnesses along.
Okay.
You need to do it outside.
How many?
At least 2.
At least.
And then you need to have outside the city gates where they're going to be stoned.
Yep.
And you wouldn't bring them to Yahushua inside of the holy temple. Yahushua wasn't the guy you'd bring it to. He was a teacher, but he wasn't the person.
But they were trying him.
Right, they were testing him.
But you missed the biggest part of this entire thing.
They didn't have the other guy.
Right.
Yeah.
They brought a woman, right? The Torah of adultery isn't something that you're just going to stone a man or woman, right? This is a crime that is done by multiple people, and it is definitely a crime. And when I want to reiterate pornography, guys. Every single time you look, every time that you lust, every time that you create this act, you are becoming an adulterer. You're making this man or woman or whatever it was that you are doing this act with an even bigger adulterer. You're literally sleeping with every person that man or woman has ever slept with, and you have taken on this sin. This is all part of it. This is the hidden side of this entire adultery thing. So when you want to be pure, when you want to be clean, number one is you don't get trapped in this pornography. If you guys are trapped in pornography, guys, it is time to give this up. You will never, ever, ever have a solid, beautiful, spectacular marriage when you are in the act of pornography, either male or female, or both of you guys. It is not something that is kodesh. It is not something that you will ever, you're not going to be proud of. There will be a time on Judgment Day when all these hidden acts, these things in the darkness, are all on display for everybody that is out there. And all of these nasty, nasty people participating in this pornography are all disease-ridden, nasty people. They've all been put through like sex trafficking. I mean, if there's no more corruption of a industry unless you dive straight into Satanism, right? If you're looking at something that is more corruptible and has corrupted more people, destroyed more marriages, destroyed more kids, right? Pornography is a liar's tool. It is something that does not match reality, and it seems like the entire world is stuck into this. And this woman was just about to get stoned because she endeavored into this. Now, all of us in today's world, right? We didn't even have the internet till the 80s, 90s, somewhere around there. We didn't have the opportunity to see women. One person with one pornography run could become an adulterer 50 times in one day. Can you imagine the amounts of crimes that you are stacking up on your soul simply by lusting after something that is not even a reality? These people are not a reality. You will not find a relationship. You will not find love in pornography at all. You will find lust, and it is disgusting. It is something that we ought to stay away from. Continuing on. Is it 7? Messiah didn't say a word, right? They're trying to get him. But as they kept on questioning him, he straightened up and said to them, "He who is without sin among you, let him be the first to throw a stone at her." Okay, this is a Christian trap. right? You will hear it over and over and over and over. The Christians do not want to hear about the Torah. They will go, he who is without sin, throw the first stone, right? But the fact is, people don't understand we are to judge based upon the Torah. We're not supposed to be judging people other than that. That's the only way that we are to judge people. When people say that we're not to judge, well, they don't understand scriptures. That is how we are to calibrate our judgment, is based upon the Torah and only the Torah.
When you see your neighbor in sin, you are supposed to rebuke him and tell him not to do this sin.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's all part of the Torah life. And so if you think you can take this one verse and you can do whatever you want because everybody else around you has sinned and they don't have the ability to pick up a stone because everybody's a sinner, guys, you have to understand this through the eyes of our Creator. There is going to be a judgment for this. Not every sin is going to come back on us, right? Whether or not we want it or not, there is a day of accounting and judgment. I'm fear for that for my life, fear that for my family. It's one of these things that we have to do this to the edge of the Torah and no more, right? When it comes to the world, the Torah is the razor's edge. You don't do anything without lining it through the Torah and making sure that everything we cut is through the eyes of the Torah. 8, and bending down again, he wrote on the ground. And when they heard it, being reproved by conscience, went out one by one, beginning from the older ones until the last. And Yahushua was left alone, and the woman standing in the middle. Now, this is incredible. This incredible thing, right? This is obviously a miracle, right? This is one of these things that you had all these people that were ready to attack our Messiah, attack this woman, and Messiah just starts writing stuff down quietly, right? A stoic, quiet, a librarian just bends down and starts writing stuff in the sand. Can you imagine what it was, right? From the older ones to the last, Messiah just started writing out stuff that every single one of these people wanted to have in their closet. Every single one of these sins that these guys had that they were not stoned for, that they were sitting here trying to do the stoning un-Torah based because they did not have the woman's accuser. They didn't have the guy that the woman was supposedly sleeping with. Right? And so all of a sudden, all these guys just started leaving, right? Messiah's writing these things, and the last thing any one of these guys wanted to do is make that known. Imagine them doing stuff with other women, right? Probably half of them there should have been dead based upon Torah, but yet they thought they were in the clear. Messiah leveled the playing ground on all of this. 10, and Yahushua straightening up and seeing no one but the woman said to her, "Woman, where are those accusers of yours? Did no one condemn you?" And she said, "No one, Adonai." And Yahushua said to her, neither do I condemn you. Go home and sin no more. Okay? Right? It wasn't this is very interesting, right? Based upon the Torah in of itself, right? Messiah ruled by the Torah, right? What else is he going to do, right? Go and sin no more. That is the greatest thing, right? This woman going into repentance and going and stopping this fornication and adultery. Messiah didn't say that, you're going to be judged or this or this. Just go and sin no more. And he did not condemn her, right? Everything must be based upon the hands of the Torah. And if we accuse people outside of the Torah, then look what happened to all these guys, right? They're going to get owned. Same thing is going to happen to us on Judgment Day. Therefore, Yahushua spoke to them again, saying, I am the light of the world. He who follows me shall by no means walk in darkness, but possess the light of Kai. The Pharisees therefore said to him, you bear witness about yourself. Your witness is not true. This is a Trinity breaking set of words right here, guys. Let's listen to what Messiah says. The Pharisees just told him that his witness is not true because he has one person, right? Because he is of himself. What does Messiah say? Yahushua answered and said to them, even if I witness concerning myself, my witness is true, for I know where I came from and where I am going. But you do not know where I come or where I go. You judge according to the flesh. I judge no one. But even if I do judge, my judgment is true because I am not alone, but I and the Father who sent me. This is big stuff, right? These are the Trinity verses where people are like, well, he and the Father are one. But I will tell you guys, in the 3.7 million words that are in 103 books of scriptures, there's no place that the Father and the Son are the same individual. And you can quote me all the Catholic bull crap that you guys want to give me. You can send me all the man-made doctrines, all this forefathers of the churches and what they believed. And I'm going to tell you that I don't care because it's not in scriptures. I don't care what the forefathers thought. Obviously, they got hoaxed along the way. If they literally are writing that the Father and the Son are one, then they have not read their scriptures. And if they have read their scriptures, then they don't have the understanding. Their eyes are not open. So we have to make sure that we are not caught in this trap of the Trinity. 17. And in your Torah also it has been written that the witness of two men is true. I am one who witnesses concerning myself, and the Father who sent me witnesses concerning me. Now, our Messiah would be a filthy liar if this were not true. If the Father was, if he was the one and only witness, and he just very clearly gave himself as a witness and his dad as a witness, but they are all the same person, then that makes the Torah null and void, because that means things do not work out. Because if we're having to figure out deception inside of these words, and that's the one thing the Torah is not. There's no Bible code. You see all these people online, they're like, oh, if you match up this line and this line, there's Bible codes and you can get the real codes. There's no such thing, right? That's the things of men that are like lost in their own minds, right? There is no Bible code. It's straight up. It tells us exactly what it is, how it is, and we have to understand this is what it's all about. 19, therefore they said to him, where is your Father? Yahushua answered, you know neither me nor my Father. If you knew me, you would have also known my Father also. Again, not a trinity. It's a duality, two separate individuals, two separate entities. 20, these words Yahushua spoke in the treasury, teaching in the Mikdash, and no one laid hands on him because his hour had not yet come. Therefore Yahushua said to them, I am going away, and you shall seek me, and you shall die in your sin. Where I go, you are unable to come. Then the Yahudim said, shall he kill himself because he says, where I go, you are unable to come? And he said to them, you are from below, I am from above. You are of this world, I am not of this world. Therefore I said to you that you shall die in your sins, for if you do not believe that I am, you shall die in your sins. This did not say that if you do not believe that I am Yahuwah, right? All of these I ams, people get very, very, very tricked up at. Now, when I ask Eli, my sleeping son next to me, if he is my son, what would he say?
I am.
I am. That means he is my son. He did not just say that he was Yahuwah Most High. He said that he was my son, and that is what the son of Yahuwah says. He's like, I am the son of my father. 25. Then they said to him, who are you? And Yahushua said to them, altogether that which I even say to you. I have much to say and to judge concerning you, but he who sent me is true. And what I heard from him, these I speak to the world. Again, he very, very clearly says his dad told him what to say, and from what his dad said to him, he's articulating this to the world. This is the way it is. Father, son, team combo. 27. They did not know that he spoke to them of the Father. So Yahushua said to them, when you lift up the bin of Adam, then you shall know that I am he, and that I do not of myself, but as my Father taught me, these I speak. Now, nobody understood what lift up the bin means, right? Nobody caught the whole stake forthcoming, right? This is a foreshadowing of what is going to happen. Prophecy, again, Messiah's very, very clearly astute in prophecy and knows what's going to happen. 29. And he who sent me is with me, okay? The thing about this verse, if the Trinity were legit, every other verse would be something like this. And he who sent me is me. I am me. I sent myself. But then he continues on and goes, the Father has not left me alone, for I always do what pleases him. Wait, if he is him, wouldn't you? I mean, do you guys see how this is? For those stuck in the Trinity, guys, please read your scriptures. Please seek our Creator. Please don't pray to Messiah Yahushua. Please pray to his Father, our Father who art in heaven. 30. And as he was speaking these words, many believed in him. So Yahushua said to the Yahudim who believed in him, if you stay in my word, you are truly my Talmidim, and you shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free. Famous quotes, right? The truth shall make you free. How many times in all these movies, how many times has the satanic world requoted this verse, right, in a different form? The truth will make you free. What is the truth, gentlemen?
Torah.
The Torah is the truth, right? And when you're looking at freedom, it's completely opposite of what the Christians say. The Christians will tell you the Torah is bondage. They will tell you it's leg shackles, torture, and things that you don't need to do. And if you do the Torah, you are a demon. You are a blasphemer. You've taken the gift that Jesus gave us, and instead of you taking his grace, you're trying something else. But then when you try to find what they're talking about in scriptures, I mean, what do you mean the grace of Jesus? Messiah Yahushua says, depart from me, you who are lawless. I'm missing the grace that everybody is looking for when they follow just the Jesus. Because we are told to follow Yahuwah. We are told to follow the words of Messiah Yahushua. Two individuals, right? So we need to be free. We want to be free. Torah is freedom. That's the big lie. When you walk in Torah, you have become a non-slave. You have gotten off the plantation. You have run for your life, and you are no longer on that demonic plantation. 33, they answered him, we are the seed of Abraham and have been servants to no one at any time. How do you say you shall become free? Funny that they say this, right? These are the same people that ended up in captivity. Northern tribes, southern tribes. The northern tribes are still in captivity. Southern tribes kind of made it out mostly. But they're like, yeah, we've never been servants to anyone. Egypt, everybody forgot Egypt, right? It's funny how they say this kind of stuff. 34, Yahushua answered them, truly, truly, I say to you, everyone doing sin is a servant of sin. How do we compare this to religious systems, right? How do we compare this to the Christian world? The Christian world? Well, the Christians don't believe they have sin, right? Because they don't have a Torah. So by their own doctrine, they can't sin. How do we account for this? How do we say it when Scripture very clearly says the sinners are sent into hell? How do we deal with this? Continuing on, 35. And the servant does not stay in the house forever. A son stays forever. If then the son makes you free, you shall be free indeed. And that's what the Christians, right? They'll take that one verse, they're like, I want Jesus. Jesus, make me free. Save me, Jesus, right? Ask Jesus into my heart. These are all things that don't exist in scriptures, right? We don't have a Romans road to Christ. For those of you who've been stuck in a Christian religion or if you've done any time in a Christian religion, you know what the Romans road to Christ is, because that is yet another fake philosophy that they have where Paul will save you and you can do what you want. It's all about grace. It's all about mercy. It's all about everything other than obedience. But Paul has your back, right? Paul's got you. Continuing on. We're at, anyone know?
I think 33.
No, it's definitely not 33. It's way beyond that. 38.
37.
Pay attention, Miss Nicole. Okay.
Sorry, I was reading the chat.
Oh, okay, that's good. That's a good excuse. I know that you are the seed of Abraham, but you seek to kill me because my word has no place in you. I speak what I have seen with my father, and you do what you have heard from your father. And who is their father, right?
There's
Devil.
Father Devil, yeah.
Yeah. And again, the Trinity gets broken all throughout all of Scriptures. I speak what I have seen with my father. Now, if Messiah Yahushua did not see anything with his father, and he was Messiah Yahuwah, if not Messiah Yahuwah, but he was Yahuwah, this would be, again, insane. I speak what I have seen with my father. Okay, well, if he is the father, then we're just being completely lied to. 30. They answered and said to him, Abram is our father. Yahushua said to them, if you were Abram's children, you would do the works of Abram. Okay, well, we know from the Christian religion, you don't have works, right? There's one way to make Christians very, very, very upset. If you tell them that your works lead to your salvation, they will kill you. That is anti-Christian. That is anti-God to them. That is one of these things. But yet, in their books, they have the book of James that very clearly says that your faith is determined by your works. What you do is an accountability of your loyalty to the Creator. If you sit back like a lump on a log and do absolutely nothing, you're not being fruitful. You're not doing the commandments of our Creator. 40, but now you seek to kill me, a man who has spoken to you the truth which I heard from Elohim. Abram did not do this. So there you are. Again, Messiah clearly says he heard things spoken to him by his dad. Is he lying to us, or is the Trinity a lie? How do we account for this? I say the Trinity is a lie. 41. Actually, it's 41. There we go. You do the works of your father. Then they said to him, we were born of whoring. We have one father, Elohim. And this is a slam, right? There's a slam on Messiah, right? Because they look at him, they don't know where exactly he was from. There was all these rumors that Joseph thought she was impregnated by somebody else. There was a big drama there, so there's a big slam. Joseph.
No,
Okay. 42. Yahushua said to them, "If Elohim were your father, you would love me, for I came forth from Elohim and am here. For I have not come of myself, but he who sent me." Every time I read a verse like this, I don't understand how the Trinity is a thing. I don't get it. If you guys are stuck in Trinity, I'm really, really sorry. If it sounds like I'm droning on, I probably am. The Trinity is it's a very bad thing that has people very, very confused. Even Torah keepers to this day are down with the Trinity, praying to Messiah Yahushua. It's just a mess. For I have not come of myself, but he who sent me. All right, Messiah, you came from your dad. Thank you. 43. Why do you not know what I say? Because you are unable to hear my word. You are of your father, the devil, and the desires of your father you want to do. He was a murderer from the beginning and has not stood in truth because there is no truth in him. When he speaks the lie, he speaks of his own, for he is a liar and the father of it. And because I speak the truth, you do not believe me? Who of you proves me wrong concerning sin? And if I speak the truth, why do you not believe me? He who is of Elohim hears the words of Elohim. Therefore, you do not hear because you are not of Elohim. Now, guys, when you are out there throwing your seeds out, trying to plant for the kingdom, trying to do all this stuff, and the people come back and they abuse you, they attack you, they laugh at you, they scoff at you, all of this stuff, it doesn't matter, right? Because Messiah very clearly says right here that if they knew the words of Elohim, they would know him. But when they laugh, when they scoff, when they cling to their religious demonic systems, they're not of Elohim. They may be the nicest people in the world. They may have very nice families. They may look like they are a religious, set-apart people. But if they're not walking the law, statutes, and commandments of our Creator, they are not one of his. They're not his sheep. Messiah says that he knows the sheep, right? Very, very clearly. For those who have ever had sheep, you can name them by name, and literally they will come to you by name. Continuing on. 48. The Yahudim answered and said to him, "Do we say well that you are a Shomerite and have a demon?" So again, this is like fighting words. Yeah, what do you say, huh? Yeah, Shomerite. Yeah, you're not even from the Yahudim, right? And you have a demon. Yahushua answered, "I do not have a demon, but I value my Father, and you do not value me." Again, what do we say, man? Trinity breaking verses. I don't have a demon, but I value my Father. Could he value himself, which he probably would if he was the Father? But, I mean, all of us, I think, at some point, we value ourselves. We try to stay fed, we try to stay clean, we try to stay warm, dry, all that kind of stuff. But very clearly, and along with all these other verses, he separated himself from his Father and said, "But I value my Father, and you do not value me. And I do not seek my own esteem, where there is one who is seeking and is judging. Truly, truly, I say to you, if anyone guards my word, he shall never see death at all." The Yahudim said to him, "Now we know that you have a demon. Abraham died, and the Neviim, the prophets, and you say, if anyone guards my word, he shall never taste death at all. Are you greater than our father Abraham, who died, and the Neviim died? Whom do you make yourself?" Yahushua answered, "If I esteem myself, my esteem is none at all." Okay, this again is one of these things. If you're stuck in the Trinity and you can read this particular verse right here, and you don't understand that the Father and the Son are separate individuals, I don't know how to help other than trying to drive this home, because the Trinity has been driven home in this satanic religious system that we've been into. Messiah says, if I esteem myself, my esteem is none at all. It is my Father who esteems me, of whom you say that he is your Elohim, and you have not known him, but I know him. And I say, I do not know him. I shall be like you, a liar. But I do know him, and I guard his word. Your father Abraham was glad that he should see my day, and he saw it and rejoiced. The Yahudim therefore said to him, "You are not yet 50 years old, and have you seen Abraham?" Yahushua said to them, "Truly, truly, I say to you, before Abraham came to be, I am. Jaden, are you my son?
I am.
I am. Kate, are you my son?
I am.
Eli,
I am.
you guys are all my son. Okay, very, very, very clearly in these words, Messiah Yahushua says that he was before Abram.
Yeah, this has nothing to do with him even saying anything about like he's from the Father or anything like that. Just saying he existed
Before Abraham. And this is the Christian religion with the Trinity. Oh, I am. Oh, I am. That's it. Right there. It's clear. It's clear. It's clear. It's clear. Right? Everybody's screaming. This is clear. But yet, before Abram, was he?
He was.
He was with his dad prior to creation, prior to heaven and earth ever being separated, prior to day and night, prior to the waters, prior to the firmament, prior to all this jive that we know down here. Messiah Yahushua walked with his father for all times, for all people. I mean, he was there. He was there. It could have been, for what we know of time, 1 billion years prior to creation that the son walked with the father. That's how he was before Abram, because that statement is true. That's not saying that he is our creator. 59. Therefore, they picked up stones to throw at him. But Yahushua was hidden and went out of the mikdash, going through the midst of them, and so passed by. And so there you are, guys, yet more miracles, right? These guys were the masters of picking up stones and crushing. And all of a sudden, they're picking up stones. Where did the guy go? What happened? Why? Where did this guy come from? So with that, everybody, that has been a delightful reading. This has been a really long reading, probably one of the longest ones we've actually done. So much love to all of you guys out there. Shabbat Shalom. Jade, will you please bless our brothers and sisters?
Yahuwah barak you and guard you. Yahuwah make his face shine upon you and show favor to you. Let Yahuwah lift his face upon you and give you peace.
All right, guys, so we're going to end this with some praise and worship here. This one is from the book of Revelations, chapter 5.
Who is worthy to take the scroll, break every seal, redeem each soul? Behold the Lamb, Yahuwah crown, Lion of Yehudah, victory found. Right hand of him upon the throne, held a sealed scroll, sealed alone. None in Shamayim, earth or sea, found with strength or worth to be. Your canal with trembling sound, telling elders that one has been found. Lion of Yehudah stands, root of the wheat in Yah's hands. Who is worthy to take the scroll, break every seal, redeem each soul? Behold the Lamb, Yahuwah crown, Lion of Yehudah, victory found. Oh, saw a lamb with wounds still seen, standing strong in power serene. 7 horns and 7 eyes, ruach flowing through the skies. Took the scroll from Yahuwah's hand, praise erupted through the land. Harps and bowls of incense rise, prayers of the set apart wise. Lion of Yehudah stands, root of the wheat in Yah's hands. Who is worthy to take the scroll, break every seal, redeem each soul? Behold the Lamb, Yahuwah crown, Lion of Yehudah, victory found, victory found, victory found, victory found. Oh, Lion of Yehudah, victory found. Worthy, worthy Lamb was slain. By your blood you broke our chain. Every tribe and every tongue, kings and priests forever young. They will reign upon the land, lifted by your mighty hand. Countless messengers filled the sky, echoing Yahuwah's cry. All esteem
he came with the Ruach HaKodesh burning bright. Yahushua walked the shores, carried wisdom in the night, calling sons of Galilee, teaching hearts to stand apart. Light of Yahuwah shining strong, writing truth on every heart. He stepped from the wild, still glowing blue. Ruach HaKodesh shining through. Power held in trust from Yahuwah above, never misused, pure in love. Andre and another by Yochanan's word followed Yahushua when they heard. Andre ran shouting to Shimon that dawn. We found deliverance, come on. 2 days later, Yahushua said, you're steady and strong in all you tread. Shimon, you'll be kept by the rock I choose, and kept I followed with nothing to lose. Yeah, from the wilderness he came with the Ruach HaKodesh burning bright. Yahushua walked the shores, carried wisdom in the night, calling sons of Galilee, teaching hearts to stand apart. Light of Yahuwah shining strong, writing truth on every heart. Along the shore near the fisherman's tower, he met good men in an early hour. Shared a meal, then gently spoke. Fishing is good, but hear this yoke. Follow me, become fishers of men. They left their boat in the hands of friends. He taught along Galilee with careful tone, for rebels before had shaken Rome. Truth we offer cannot be sold. Value must match what hands behold. He healed many by power on high. Not I said, but Yahoo draws nigh. From the wilderness he came with the Ruach HaKodesh burning bright. Yahushua walked the shores, carried wisdom in the night, calling sons of Galilee, teaching hearts to stand apart. Light of Yahuwah shining strong, writing truth on every heart. Talmidim asked to Shamayim's reign. He spoke of stairs where souls remain. Some step downward, some stand still, yet the stair above is known by will. Sunlight crowns the steps above. Darkness weighs on those below. Mockers mocked, but he replied, dogs bite stones thrown aside. At a well he taught again, my teachings flow like this water to men. Drink a little, feel renewed, yet the well's depth is never subdued. So when they cry, we cannot see. Remember, more truth waits in me. From the wilderness he came with the Ruach HaKodesh burning bright. Yahushua walked the shores, carried wisdom in the night, calling sons of Galilee, teaching hearts to stand apart. Light of Yahweh shining strong, writing truth on every heart. He taught them charity's rightful place, not for praise or public face. Give like one who gives from need, not the bone but the meat indeed. Help the wounded, help the blind, lift the broken of Ruach and mind. But given done for pride alone is emptiness carved into stone. He told the tale of servants too, silver given, see what they do. One labored hard and gained much more, one wasted all, enslaved, made poor. So is earth's reward and test, use gifts well, Yah bless his best. From the wilderness he came with the Ruach HaKodesh burning bright. Yahushua walked the shores, carried wisdom in the night, calling sons of Galilee, teaching hearts to stand apart. Light of Yahuwah shining strong, writing truth on every heart. He spoke of the travelers seeking the city. One chose wisdom, the other chose pity. The wise one learned the safer way, reached the city by break of day. The foolish wandered among wild beasts, lost in swamps where clarity ceased. So ignorance is a forest deep, delusion a swamp where spirits weep. But he who hears the Talmud wise will reach the light where truth arises. Then he said, take my plow and stand, cut deep furrows through the land. Work feels endless, sand to see, but Yahuwah pays faithfully. Weariness comes, but Ruach grows strong. hold the light and walk along. From the wilderness he came with the Ruach HaKodesh burning bright. Yahushua walked the shores, carried wisdom in the night, calling sons of Galilee, teaching hearts to stand apart. The light of Yahuwah shining strong, writing truth on every heart. Before you were formed, yeah, I called your name, wrote your purpose, lit your flame. Don't say I'm small, he stands with you, walking the destiny he made true. Hear me, you hear my voice. I've chosen you, not your choice before the womb. I set you apart, placed my words inside your heart. Before you were formed, yeah, I called your name, wrote your purpose, lit your flame. Don't say I'm small, he stands with you, walking the destiny he made true. Don't fear faces, don't be dismayed. I'm with you, I'm afraid. And every two nations you will be. Root up lies, plant victory. Before you were formed, yeah, I called your name, wrote your purpose, lit your flame. Don't say I'm small, he stands with you, walking the destiny he made true. Branch of almond boiling pot, warnings for a nation caught in rebellion, far from truth. But I give strength to honest you. For you lay your flame. Don't say I'm small. He stands with you, walking the destiny. Iron pillar, steadfast stone, yeah, stands with you. You're not alone. Whatever comes, his word will stay, guiding you in righteous way. You were formed with purpose great. God's design will cultivate. Step in courage, take your stand. Destiny rests in Yah's hand. For you were formed, Yah called your name, wrote your purpose, lit your flame. Don't say I'm small, he stands with you, walking the destiny he made true. Before you were formed, Yah called your name, wrote your purpose, lit your flame.
All right, brothers and sisters, friends and family, that was from the book of Jeremiah. Everything that you hear on this is all scripture-based music. So, guys, we love you all. We hope you have a wonderful Shabbat. We thank you for being a part of this family, and we love you. May Yahuwah bless you and keep you. May his light forever shine on you. May the grace of our Creator forever be in your life. May Messiah Yahushua always be the king and the leader of your life. And may we all greet each other in the kingdom to come as loyal citizens of the kingdom. Much love, y'all.
All right.